Today on Call Out, Parks Canada Search and Rescue deal with injured hikers and bad news bears on the West Coast Trail.
So we're just at Chiwat Cabin today, looking for some signs of wildlife in this area. We have a closure.
And later, Long Beach surf guards prepare for a busy Labor Day weekend in Pacific Rim National Park.
Like you're on the go all the time. There's always someone in the water.
Saturday, 10:30 a.m., Port Renfrew, British Columbia.
Okay, how long ago did you see him?
Two fishermen approach a Parks Canada rescue team to report a hiker in distress on Vancouver Island's rugged West Coast Trail. Gil Villaseñor from Southern California has slipped on some roots, injuring his right leg. Bruised and swollen, he cannot continue the challenging 75-kilometer hike and needs to be evacuated.
They were out near Colite Cove along the West Coast Trail and were flagged down by a couple in their 50s waving a red flag. They went in to investigate, and the gentleman was complaining of a blown knee. We're already in the rigid hull and we're already on the water, so we're going to head straight out there.
Already loaded with basic medical and rescue equipment, their twin-engine rigid hull inflatable boat, or RIB, can take off immediately. They will reach the subject in approximately 25 minutes. Team leader Jeff Caro and SAR trainee Sabilla Helms are part of a 5-member team of Parks Canada rescue specialists who live and work out of their station in Port Renfrew at the south end of the West Coast Trail. With an average of 100 call-outs during the May to October hiking season, 2 members are always on call 24/7. Depending on the situation, they rescue by boat, helicopter, or on foot, keeping a range of gear ready to go at a moment's notice. Outside of Canadian Forces SAR-techs parachuting or hoisting in from aircraft, Parks Canada Search and Rescue is the only medical help available in this unforgiving territory. Between rescues, they spend a lot of time working on all aspects of this world-renowned trail to keep it safe.
Right here we are at Thrasher Cove. This is a site where we've had in the past some major accidents on this little slope. There was at one point a stair system that took hikers down this way over this rocky, muddy mess, but it was blown away by a tree and hasn't been replaced just yet. It doesn't look all that bad, but it gets worse once you're on it. So once hikers get committed to this slope, that's when things go wrong. We thought we'd be able to be okay without it. Then we had a major wreck here last summer that involved multiple head injuries, and so obviously we got to get this going again. The trail crew's on it. They're going to be out in the next while to replace it, but until then we're going to put up just some ski slope style fencing just to direct hikers away from coming down this area.
So we're just at Chiwat Cabin today, and I'm looking for some signs of wildlife in this area. We have a closure.
There are significant bear, cougar, and wolf populations living in the region. When they start crossing paths with hikers, search and rescue sometimes becomes search and relocate.
Really large bear. Oh yeah, you can see it here. That's the forepaw. Probably male.
Those types of animals, there's kind of an escalation of risk, and our job is we try to raise awareness to the hikers and educate people on how to deter those animals before they become a high risk.
And no sign of the bear at Chiwat?
Unfortunately, sometimes the animal has to be put down. Luckily, we don't have to do that very often, but it is definitely a possibility and we train for it.
We're at the Port Renfrew Rifle Range. We're here to practice with the 22 rifles today. We've had a lot of bear activity on the trail, so we're just keeping our skills up with shooting and familiarity with the guns.
On the bullseye.
Nice.
Actually, one's in the bullseye. Woo!
Yeah, good shooting.
Shannon and I have shot about 80 rounds in the last half an hour, trying to get through a series of different positions and practicing our breathing, our sight picture, our trigger pull, everything we can to get ready in case we do get called to use firearms.
11 a.m. Jeff and Sabilla have arrived at Colite Cove.
See people ashore, but they waved us in, so we're at the right spot. Definitely have people that want us to come ashore and give them a hand. Don't know what yet, so we'll row in and we'll update as the plan changes.
Being a SAR rookie, Sabilla Helms takes the initiative to prep the tender.
My natural instinct is to jump ahead and take on challenges. I love challenges. And so I'm a little bit uber keen sometimes. And that's the dangerous thing, you know, when you teach someone just a little bit and then they get in over their head pretty easily. It's a matter of knowing your limits and safety limits as well.
You said you slipped off some roots.
Yeah, I was just a drop about 4 feet, and I had to put my foot down like this, and I actually slipped and tumbled over. Landed on my pack and shoulder.
Hit your head at all?
No.
Where's the pain? I see a cut there on your knee. Is that
Yeah, that's when I fell.
All right.
Yeah, and then it was like, now it's kind of like stiff in here. In the front right here.
He's packed well, he's got great gear, but he's never hiked in these kind of conditions before, and whether he had or not may not have made any difference.
One day we went
He was able to limp to camp that night. His wife gave him like massaged his leg and rubbed around his knee to try to help loosen it up, and you know, it was awfully stiff and sore for him. He took some pills, so he was in rough shape.
It sends the pain right in here.
Okay. Any problem moving your ankle at all?
No, the only problem I had down there was yesterday all day it started throbbing, you know.
In here?
Aching, like a really bad ache. But after her massaging and the Motrin,
Yeah.
got up I slept great last night. No Motrin.
Yeah.
My leg, I was perfect. So I was like, yeah, we're out of here. And then as soon as I walked about.
And can you wiggle your toes?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any fractures. The pain does radiate down the inside of his leg. And so we're gonna splint it up because there's a bit of bouncing around on the boat once we get out there.
I've been waiting like 8 years to come on this trip.
Oh man!
It's still gonna be here once you're all healed up.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring a llama with me next time.
We should open up the season 1 year for just people who've had injuries. You don't have them all come out. Kind of have a big reunion. Their ego is more bruised than anything. Their pride's hurt. You know, he felt bad about calling us. He felt bad about having to leave the trail early. You know, it's typical that way. And poor guy. He was just, you know, super nice guy. You know, it's just we get like hiking guides. They come out here and they get taken out. Like, it doesn't matter, you know.
It is pretty amazing.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's just after 6, and we're back at the Port Renfrew Search and Rescue Station, and Gil and his wife are safely set up in a hotel, the last room available tonight. So they're all good. They're going to stay in Port Renfrew for a couple of days and wait for their hiking partners to get off the trail. And that wraps it up for another rescue on West Coast Trail.
119 from 6-8, 119.
Wednesday, 10:15 a.m. Parks Canada rescue team members Danny Thompson and Sabilla Helms have been called out to evacuate an injured hiker off the West Coast Trail. They're stationed offshore at Secaucus Creek, kilometer 17, and in radio contact with 2 of the First Nations trail guardians who live in the area and help injured hikers get medical attention.
We'll be there in about 3.5 to 4 minutes.
Okay, thanks a lot, Lonnie. 6-8.
Now we got a call that there's a fellow, his name's Bruno, with a sore left knee or a calf. So he's not quite sure what it is, but called us yesterday to give us the heads up, and called again this morning to confirm that he needs to be evacuated. He can't hike any further.
We've got a real foggy day, but fortunately for us, it's an extremely calm day. This is kind of typical summer seas, low swell, no wind.
Sabilla arrives on the beach and is met by the trail guardians. They have escorted Bruno down to the rendezvous point, allowing the rest of his hiking party to continue the trek south along the trail. Sabilla performs a primary medical survey and preps Bruno for transport. It's a quick trip out to the rib where they transfer Bruno, store the tender, and begin the 30-minute trip back to the SAR base in Port Renfrew. It's a grab and go. A few days later, Jeff Caro and 30-year veteran SAR manager Rick Holmes are preparing for yet another trail evacuation when Bruno drops by the station. He's been to the local clinic while waiting for his hiking partners to finish the trail and has received some interesting news about his sprain.
Like a band up in here. I thought I pulled a muscle really bad. And
A little more than that.
didn't hear a crack or didn't hear anything.
That's quite a break.
That's awesome.
And displaced a little bit too, and
That must have hurt.
a piece came off there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
creating its own path of bruised bodies, broken bones, and shattered egos. The West Coast Trail is no easy walk in the park. No one wants to turn back, but when they have to, the Parks Canada West Coast Trail Search and Rescue Team is there to help. Friday, 12:20 p.m. Parks Canada surf guards spot a novice surfer caught in an aggressive rip current, struggling to get back to shore. Two of the surf rescue specialists get suited up, while a third remains focused on the subject from the tower. They launch the jet ski from the beach. One guard heads out to rescue the subject, while the other stays on the beach ready to provide backup if required. Within seconds, the exhausted surfer climbs onto the rescue board and is towed through the rip current towards shore. This is an exercise. Parks Canada surf guards Doug Palfrey, David Redpath, and Mike Wald are preparing for a busy Labor Day weekend on Long Beach in Pacific Rim National Park. Located on the southwest coast of Vancouver Island, between Ucluelet and Tofino, Long Beach is renowned as one of Canada's premier surfing destinations, attracting 1 million visitors each year to its spectacular beauty and punishing surf.
Traveled all over the world, and this is one of my favorite places. Surfed in Costa Rica, surfed here. Not that good, but love it.
Surfing is becoming an increasingly popular sport to those who seek the exhilarating experience of harnessing Mother Nature's awesome force. But it can be quite dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
It's probably 80-85% newbies in the water, and then probably 15% really experienced old dogs, and it's busy. You know, and there's a lot of novices all intermingling with surf schools, with pros, and it's fun, but it can be chaos at times too.
As early bird surfers are gearing up to hit the beach, Parks Canada surf guards prepare their gear and check the morning weather reports at the warden's office.
Right now we've got about a 2-meter swell. It's from the west. We've got some light north or northwesterly winds right now, and they'll be increasing in strength throughout the day. So we'll see some waves down the beach today. We timed it. I think you can go from getting your call to having this in the water in 2 minutes. And it's a great tool to have. Definitely expands our range.
Range is key. The surf guards will respond to calls on a total of 4 of the park's beaches: Radar Beach, Long Beach, Comers Beach, and Wickaninish Beach, a 25-kilometer stretch between Cox and Quisitas points. It's a huge responsibility for the 2 to 3 guards on shift each day.
When you get hot sunny days combined with big swell and lots of people, and throw in a weekend, or even worse yet, a long weekend, like you're on the go all the time. There's always someone in the water.
To help prevent a high number of incidents from overwhelming the surf guards, warning signs have been placed at all beach access points to increase public awareness of the inherent dangers. But it continues to be an ongoing battle to keep people safe.
You know, everybody's surf crazy now, and rank beginners come to the beach and they look out and they may glance at the sign, but they see people in wetsuits, people with surfboards out there. And they don't realize that some of those people actually know how to surf and know how to use the rip to get back out after catching a wave, so out they go. It's, you know, summer holidays.
A riptide is actually a rip current. It's a strong channel of water flowing seaward from close to shore, typically through the surf line. Rip currents can be caused by shifting sandbars, crossing wave trains, or natural obstacles. In this case, Lovekin Rock.
This is where all our incidents take place, or the bulk of them is right here out at Lovekin Rock. And the rip you can see today, it's always here. It's mainly to the south of the rock, And if you just follow along, you'll see a little different texture in the water, a bit of a rougher surface. Now that's the rip working its way south. And then once it's outside the influence of the surf, it just dissipates and fans out. If someone's caught in it, they will swim and paddle against it till they drop. If you're trying to swim straight back in, it's like swimming against a small river. You just tire yourself out, whereas all they have to do is paddle over 30 to 50 meters and they're right out of the rip, and then use the waves to bring you back in.
David places additional signs on the beach, alerting people of the dangerous rip current around Lovekin Rock. But they seem to have little effect, gauging by the number of swimmers and surfers in the area.
Probably out of that 111 people, there's probably over 100, just over 100 of them that have never been in the water before. So surfing's a brand new experience for them.
Like the waves are really good at this spot right here, definitely. That all of a sudden they'll start getting bigger and bigger, and then it's really fun. Yeah, right by the rock.
It's a little crowded, so you gotta watch out for people and make sure you're not getting in people's way, but gotta share the waves too, so.
As the density of surfers in the water increases, the concern shifts from the rip current to injuries sustained from surfboards or other surfers.
They're hit by their surfboard, they're hit by somebody else's surfboard, they're cut with a fin, bumps and scrapes, somebody hits their head on the bottom. Those type of injuries happen on busier days. When you have more people in a smaller area, they're more likely to be hit by somebody else's board.
Now there's a few guys out here that can surf in this group, so they're not really much of a concern, although we do watch them. It's the people on the rental equipment. Those numbers haven't really showed up, but they will throughout the day.
Indeed they will. In nearby Tofino, business is booming for local surf shops, equipping a seemingly endless stream of newbie surfers with wetsuits and boards for the sunny weekend. Hopefully, they'll take notice of the wave hazard signs along the highway used to access the various beaches in the park.
When you get big waves, the water comes in and has to push out the sides of the bay, or during a rip in the middle of the bay, and a novice isn't going to know what to look for. They can be super well-intentioned, well-meaning, trying to be safe, and yet they can still get shot out on a freight train out to Vietnam.
It's early afternoon, and Long Beach is filling up with surfers and families eager to hit the water. The surf guards prepare for a long and busy afternoon.
It's a big beach and there's a lot to watch, and it's tiring too. There's eye fatigue, so you rotate through every hour. If you have 3 people on, while one person's guarding, the other person could be in the water, and then the third guy, he's kind of a floater. If there's first aid, deals that, he's back up. It all depends on what the risk is for the day and judge it accordingly.
Guarding from the tower requires a keen eye and the utmost concentration. There are a lot of things to be watching out for.
Children probably are our biggest concern, so are they supervised? Are they well equipped? How long they've been out in the water? You know, if they've been out for 3 or 4 hours, chances are, they're getting really tired, and so there's a higher chance of an incident. So.
Then there are the surfers.
Body language is huge. Their confidence or their ability to paddle their board, their stability on the board, where they're paddling out, how they're catching waves, if they're staying in a really, really tight-knit group. Also maybe if, earlier we had maybe seen the possibility of some drinking or something on the beach. It's not just necessarily the water that we're watching the entire beach.
If something's happening, it happens really quick here. You're watching, everything's fine, and then you see something catches your eye and you're, okay, yeah, and then it's like, it's go.
The reason why we don't do many rescues is because we paddle up to people 10 minutes before they need it. We simply paddle up to them, convince them that there's a better place to be, and sometimes on your way to go tell someone that they are in a bad area, it actually turns into a rescue. or someone else near them while you're talking to them winds up getting pulled out and you're already there.
You know, there's very few people in Canada that live near the ocean or live near to a surf beach, and ocean safety is new to a lot of people. So it's getting that information to them in a positive way.
If we weren't surfers, this job would probably wouldn't be very enjoyable. I mean, we get to spend a lot of time in the water. We all love what we're doing.
It doesn't get any better as far as a place to work. You're outside and being in the surf is great.
Call Out Search and Rescue features real stories filmed live by search and rescue teams during actual missions. Find out more at calloutsar.tv.